There's a story of two brothers. They grew up with a super abusive dad. Uh, every night he would beat them, and then he'd beat their mom. There was always screaming, always violence in the house. He would constantly rip them down, calling them names, just degrading them. And the boys, of course, grew up, and one of them, as you might expect, ended up in prison, and he was in there for domestic violence. He beat his children, he beat his wife, and actually finally ended up getting charged for it. And he was in prison visiting with the psychologist, and he asks him, why do you think you are the way you are? Why do you think you're so angry? And then so he starts to tell his therapist about what it was like to be a kid in the home of his dad, and he talks about the way that his dad would come home drunk and rip him out of the bed and beat him for no reason, or that after he'd beat him, he'd hear his mom screaming in the bedroom, and she'd beat him, and that he was always fearful and scared, and then all of a sudden the fear turned to anger, and he's been angry ever since. So, what do you expect? You saw how his dad was. How'd you expect me to turn out? The other brother, same exact situation, grew up in the same house, equally abused. His dad did not hold back in his violence. He was equal in the way he would distribute it between his brother, and his mom. But this brother was an active member of his church, a loving husband, a great father. Actually, almost never even lost his temper, never yells, was always very calm. And he was visiting one time with his therapist, and the therapist just asked him, why are you the way you are? And of course, he shared the story and reminded the therapist of his father. And he said, well, my dad used to beat me. I lived in constant fear. My mom was scared. My brothers were scared. And I never wanted to be responsible for doing that kind of damage to anyone else. So I made a vow to myself I was going to be nothing like my dad. So, two circumstances, the exact same circumstances, but two completely different choices in how to respond. And that's what I believe. I believe they are choices. I have a friend, his name's Mike, we'll call him. And Mike, when he was younger, not sure exactly how long ago, he's walking along, gets a bad headache, and actually passes out, and goes to the doctor and gets the worst news he had ever received personally. They told him he's got brain cancer. Okay. So in that moment, Mike Resnick remembers back to when he was visiting a nursing home, and there was a lady in there who was in a wheelchair. She had diabetes and had her legs cut off. I might be adding to the story, I'm not sure, but I know she couldn't walk. And he walks up to her and says, we'll just call her Miss B. I can't remember what her name is. Hey, Miss B. He's thinking she's going to be just sad and devastated because she can't walk. Hey, Miss B, how are you doing? And she looks at him with the biggest smile ever, and she just says, I'm triple fantastic. Thank you for asking. And that had left a deep impression on Mike. So he let that become the mantra of his life. And Mike is a Christian. He's been saved by the blood of Jesus Christ, and he knows the promise of Jesus' return one day. And he made a choice on that day that no matter what comes his way, triple fantastic. So, brain cancer. Okay, I got a tumor in my brain. Triple fantastic, Mike said. And then so he goes on, his brain heals, and then not too long afterwards, actually, he gets a phone call from his mom. She's got cancer, and then she only lived for another few months. Triple fantastic. Then he gets a phone call, and he finds out that he's gonna have a baby as an older man, and so triple fantastic. And then he also Time ticks along. He gets a phone call. His wife, hey, babe, got some bad news at the breast doctor. I've got breast cancer. Okay, we're going to get through this. Triple fantastic. And then not too long after that, Mike's dad dies and finds that news out. Triple fantastic. Everything's triple fantastic. No matter what comes, triple fantastic. And so the gist of these two stories is a lot of us have said, man, I hope 2023 is better than 2022. Well, that's a choice you make. My 2023 is going to be better than my 2022 because I'm going to decide that it's going to be. My emotions are fully my responsibility. So many people say, I'm so sad, or he made me mad. Well, take responsibility for your feelings. No one can make you mad. No one can make you sad. Being sad is a choice. No, I'm not saying that something like some people have PTSD, things like this, and you may be in therapy or whatever, and you're on a journey, but ultimately we are fully responsible. We are not physical beings alone, and we are not our mind. We are actually spiritual beings, and we have the ability to talk to our mind. We have the ability to take our thoughts captive and say, no, 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 no. I know the truth about this. So you man up and you walk towards the pain and you say, I know what I believe about Jesus Christ. I know who's responsible for my feelings. I know who's responsible for my emotion, and that's me and me alone. You experience life. Life is not happening all out there. Life is happening in between our head, in between our two ears. That's where we take. So like the two brothers, exact same circumstances, both were beaten, abused, ripped apart their entire childhood. Two completely different ways to respond. One person said, I have no choice. What else can I be? I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm bitter. I have to be this way. And the other one said, I don't have to be any way. I'm the captain of this ship. My feelings are my feelings. My emotions are my emotions. My actions are my actions. And when you start taking full responsibility of your life and you stop playing, God help me. No, God help me do this. God's giving you everything. So don't pray for God to help you. Pray for God to make you aware of the strength that He's already put inside of you in the Holy Spirit through Jesus Christ. We have everything we need. So stop wishing for God to do something for you and just do it. He's going to help you. He's already made the promise. Everything you need is already there. So stop begging God to come in and change your life, and just do it, and He's going to be right there with you, because God does not live outside of us. As Christians, He comes into our being. He's already here. He's already declared you're more than a conqueror. So stop running around sad and crying and deal with stuff. I like to do this exercise like the Navy SEALs. What do they do in SEALs training? They call it Hell Week. Why? Because they, as close on earth as they can, they take these men and they bring them to the hell on earth. They make sure that their minds have been broken, that they've gone through the worst things ever that they could possibly put them through without killing. And men have actually died in SEALs training because when they're out there in battle, they want them to have already done it. So I like to do this exercise. And it can get pretty dark, but Jesus is in it. So I go through mental exercises. My wife, she's already died hundreds of times. I like to go there. I journey there. I visualize getting that phone call so that I'm already prepared for when those bad things come. My children, I visualized getting those phone calls. And it's not a demented thing. I know that Jesus is going to be with me. I lost my mom, my brother, my sister, all to heroin overdoses, and I'm stronger for it. I physically go back into the past. I'll journey back into those things and go back there and deal with it and really, really walk into the pain and figure out what all am I using for an excuse to be weak and to be ugly and to not smile and to not be the hands and feet of Jesus. I have to journey back into my past and see what excuses I'm using to have a bad temper. No, I don't have a bad temper anymore. I used to, but not anymore. I'm different. I'm responsible for my temper. It doesn't matter what my mom did to me. It doesn't matter that I lost my brother, that I lost my sister. It doesn't matter that that my parents were divorced. It doesn't matter that I wasn't able to grow up close to my biological father, Howard. But I can look and see now my dad and I are super close. And now I can look and see with a lot of compassion that my mom was just a hurting person. I go back there to those dark places. And I actually go forward in the future. So I don't have to be fearful when those tragedies come because I've already visualized them and walked through them. And guess what? I know how to be brought high and I know how to be brought low because of Jesus Christ. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. We've got this. We can do this. We have everything we need. So, if you're not practicing positive affirmations, if you're not constantly talking to yourself, then your mind, when left alone, it will go towards negativity. It will do it every time. Don't let your mind wander. Talk to yourself far more than you listen to yourself. Talk to yourself in truth. You don't have to be any way. And stop saying someone made you mad. No one can make you mad. No one can make you bitter. That is a choice you're making. I would say even no one can make you sad. That's a choice you're making. So I'm not saying I've got this down. I haven't. I'm on a journey. But I'm screaming far less than I used to. I'm happier far more than I used to be. I'm at peace far more than I used to be. And because I was told by someone that I can always say that something's triple fantastic. I can look at my circumstances and I can use them as a reason to be great, to move towards Jesus, to be his hands and feet, or I can use them as a reason to cry, be angry, and be bitter and wish that something was different. But that's like wishing for something that doesn't exist. Your past only exists in your imagination. It's an imaginary world when you're living in your past. It's an imaginary world when you're fearful of the future. If you struggle with fear of the future, go there with Jesus having held in your hand. Those things you're most fearful of, play them out in your mind. Let them happen. And what you'll see is that Jesus is right there. You can do it. You can do it because he already did it. So there's no reason to be fearful. No reason. We don't have a spirit of fear. Take control of your mind. If you want to change your life, change your thinking. So today's the day you can do it. Or you can sit around and keep letting your mind control you. Or you can step back and say, no. I control my mind. I control my thinking. I control my emotions. I was made to be great. I'm made in the image of the God that spoke the universe into existence. That's the God I serve. So I'm going to go out and create little stuff. That's what we are. We're made in his image. We're little creators. So we go out and we create things. And then when we step back, just like God, we say, that was good. How many times do we have to step back from the things we've created? Strife, stress, hurt, pain because of our anger, because of our temper, because we're so upset that things didn't go our way. Well, guess what? Nobody ever promised things would go your way. Nobody said life was going to be fair. Nobody ever told us that. No one. It's never been promised. It's actually, Jesus said, we're going to suffer well. So walk towards the pain. Be okay with the suffering. Get into it. Be a man. Stop wanting to feel like little butterflies. That's not what Jesus promises us. That's not it. He promises us that he will hold our hands and he will walk through the fire with us. But he promises us the fire. So walk towards it. Man up. And if you're a woman, man up too. I don't know how else to say it. Get out of your feelings. Take responsibility. That's what we got to do. That's what you got to do, Hank. Go look in the mirror. Hold yourself accountable. Stop being sad. Stop walking around crying about the damn past. One of my best friends is Philip Chalastri. His son sat at the bottom of an ocean for a long-ass time when his plane crashed. But he don't walk around crying. Philip smiles more than anybody I know. I love you, Philip. He ain't crying. He's out there getting it. He's out there loving people. He wakes up every morning and he smiles and he prays and he goes out and he loves on people. So what are you doing? What are you crying about? Give it to Jesus. He took it on the cross. It was enough. We can do this. Men got to stop running around whining about how hard our past was. We serve a king who calls us more than conquerors. Women, you got to stop running around crying about how hard your past was. You are more than a conqueror in Jesus. More than a conqueror. That means that you go in and you do more than conquer. You don't just get past stuff. You look back at it and you make it brand new. So go back into that suffering. Let Jesus heal it. Stop walking around sad and complaining, thinking that you should have had a better life. We only deserve hell. And Jesus came and died to set us free so that we can smile and love. So I hope that this motivates and encourages you to change the way you think so your life can be changed. You're never going to have a different past. It's always going to be the same. It's always going to be the same. So you can look at it and use it as a reason to, oh, I wish it was different. I can't believe this happened to me. Or you can look back and you can say, my baby brother OD'd on heroin. Triple fantastic. My mama OD'd on heroin. Triple fantastic. My baby sister OD'd on heroin. Triple fantastic. What do you need to go back and say? Triple fantastic. We've all got the tragedies, and some of yours are really, really bad and really, really dark. I know. Far worse than what I've been through. But you still got a choice to make. You still got a life to live. What are you going to do with it? Because the cross is bigger than it all. It's all been handled. It's all been handled. I love y'all. Smile more. Smile. Yeah, triple fantastic. Today, stop saying, I hope I have a good day. Go have a good day. Just do it. Go have a good day. Go smile at some people. Go love on some people. Stop and talk to people. Smile at people at the store. Talk to the girl at the register. Hug your mom. Hug your dad. Call your brother. Call your friend. Call somebody and tell them how great they are. Just start encouraging people. Just start being a wealth of joy. And no matter what happens in your day, you say it's a good dang day because Jesus Christ made it. Whether it's full of tragedy or it's full of just blue skies, an amazing day where a bunch of good stuff happens. It's a good day. I love y'all.